When you buy a new mobile, will there be any storage will be there in the phone or not? Say yes, the storage will be there. For what the storage is needed? Is it for the OS or not? Yes. Fine. So the same thing, the OS will be, we need a space. The same thing like here you need the memory, minimum memory will be there required to run the server. Same thing it is, so it's selecting the storage type as EBS only. Why EBS storage alone it is selecting? Let us see in the upcoming slides. So now as of now you can make a note of the sizes are 7, and what are the sizes? Nano, micro, small, medium, large, X large and 2X large. So you can able to see the CPU is two virtual CPUs it is comparing. Now from large it is double. You see 2 means there is double X, that is X large, so double of that. Next it is 2XL, that is triple X. So what is the memory size? It will increase also. So generation is 1 to 5 generations. Then this is family from A to Z. Now all these things only this 26 letters into 5 into 7 sizes. That's what it's overall around 27 to 70 plus instant types. Okay. So write this one. T represents family and this types also. Once you are done, just put a thumbs up symbol. You're done means just put a thumbs up symbol. போட்டோ எடுத்துட்டீங்களா? நான் எடுத்ததுக்கு அப்புறம் நீங்க எடுத்தீங்களா? அதான் அவங்ககிட்ட கொடுங்க. அவங்க பேர் என்ன? இல்ல. ஆபரேஷன். அவங்ககிட்ட கொடுத்து அந்த குரூப்ல போடுங்க. நம்ம கோர் குரூப்ல ஒண்ணு, ஃபேமிலி குரூப்ல ஒண்ணு. அதுக்கு ஒரு ஆப்டிடியூட் டெஸ்ட் ஒண்ணு வேர்ட் இருக்கும். கூகுள் ஃபார்ம் அதுதான் போட சொல்றேன். நீங்க கூகுள் ஃபார்ம்ல கரெக்ட் ஆன்சர் கொடுக்கும்போது அதுவே எல்லாத்தையும் செலக்ட் பண்ணிடும். நீங்க வெறும் ஸ்கோரை பார்த்தா போதும். இதுதானே பண்ணியிருக்கோம் எல்லாமே. நான் ஒரு கம்பெனி டெஸ்ட் பண்ணோம்ல, அதை அப்படியே டூப்ளிகேட் பண்ணி அதில் வேற கொஷின்ஸை மாற்றி விடுங்க. குரூப்ல எல்லாம் குரூப்ல சேர்ந்து டெஸ்ட் ஐ திங்க் அது வந்துட்டு நான் உங்களுக்கு ஒரு காப்பி கொடுக்குறேன், அதை அப்படியே எடிட் பண்ணி விட்ருங்க. ஆப்சூட் டெஸ்ட் நம்பர் 6ன்னு போட்டுக்கோங்க. 100 60 ஐ மீன் ஓகே 100 கொடுத்தா பெட்டர். 2 மணி நேரம் ஓட்டிடுங்க.
அந்த பிக்சர்ஸ் மட்டும் கமெண்ட்ல கொடுத்துருங்க.
ஆமா. அந்த மிஸ்ஸஸ் மேம்ட்ட குடுத்து அத குரூப்ல போட்டுருங்க. வீடியோ பெருசா இருக்கா ஃபைலு? அப்ப அதையும் அனுப்பிச்சு விட்டுருங்க. நான் உங்களுக்கு எடிட்டர் ஆக்சஸ் குடுத்துருக்கேன். நீங்க போய் எடிட் பண்ணி இந்த கொஸ்டின்ஸ் மட்டும் எடிட் பண்ணீங்கனாலே போதும். ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா அது மாறிடும். இது வந்து டெஸ்ட் 6 மத்ததெல்லாம் அதிலே இருக்கு. ஐ திங்க் எவ்வளோ இருக்கு? 50 இருக்கு. 60 இருக்கு ஆல்ரெடி. இது ஆல்ரெடி அவனுங்க எழுதியிருப்பானுங்க. அதனால நீங்க கொஸ்டின்லாம் மாத்தணும். நீங்க பப்ளிஷ் பண்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு தடவ நீங்க செக் பண்ணி பார்த்துங்க. பப்ளிஷ் ஆகி ஒர்க் ஆகுதான்னு பார்த்து அதுக்கப்புறமா போங்க. லிங்க் அனுப்பிச்சுடுறேன். அதில் இது அப்டேட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா அட்டண்டன்ஸ்? நானே உங்களுக்கு மெசேஜ் பண்ணேன். அதே ஸ்கெடியூலில் போடுங்க. அதுதானே போட்டிருக்கோம். ஸ்கெடியூல்லே போடுங்க. இது நாளைக்கு நீங்கள் எடுப்பீங்க, நாளான்னைக்கு நான் எடுப்பேன், அடுத்த நாள் அவங்க எடுப்பாங்க. அவங்களுக்குலாம் எப்படி தெரியும்? அதான் அட்டண்டன்ஸ் போட்டிருக்கேன். இதில் போட்டுட்டு டன்னு போட்டிருக்கேன். ம். ஈவினிங் பேட்சா? புது பேட்ச்லையா? இங்கே இந்த டேட் போட்டுருங்க. இன்னைக்கு என்ன 16ஆ? 02/12/26. பக்கத்தில் அவங்க நாளைக்கு வந்து அட்டண்டன்ஸை ஃபில் பண்ணீங்க இல்லை நீங்கள் வந்து நீங்கள் சார்ஜ் ஓகேங்களா? நாளான்னைக்கு அவர் எடுப்பார், நாளான்னைக்கு நான் எடுப்பேன், அதுக்கப்புறம் அவர் கொண்டு ரெஸ்ட் பண்ணிப்பேன். பார்க்கலாம் இந்த 1 வீக் எத்தனை பேர் வரா என்னன்னு பார்த்துட்டு தான் மறுபடியும் எல்லாத்தையும் மாற்ற முடியும். Yes, you're done. We'll go for the next one. So here you can able to see the categories. So categories, the instant types. As just now I mentioned, general purpose of compute optimized, memory optimized, accelerated computing, storage optimized. Now here, what purpose it is used? So general purpose means like your normal applications, like what are applications, simple applications you are creating or a website you are creating. Broadly, we'll be using this type. That is A1, M4, M5, T2, T3. Just now when in the example also I just showed you na, you see T3 micro, correct na? T3 micro, which is free tier eligible. Free tier eligible means we already learned free tier for 6 months. 6 months it is free for everyone, and the cost is also very less. You see 0.0132 USD per hour, that too on demand. If you go for Linux, it is again same thing. So you see 1 GB memory. Now next one, compute optimize. Compute optimize means where we need more calculation or manipulations, we need more computer resources. That is where you need high performance. Where you need high performance. Which application need high performance? Which application need high performance? Can you just tell me? You have your mobile, right? In your mobile you have uh, applications, right? Lot of applications are there. In that, which one need high performance? Which application needs more power, energy, or RAM? Which one? Can you just mention? Come on, guys. You just check your mobile app and tell me what is your mostly using. Which application you're mostly using? I think boys will use that application. Maybe girls are also now often. Come on, guys. Just respond. What applications you are using? Okay, as usual, no response. Fine. So your gaming applications. Next, memory optimize, where we need more memory. Like your banking applications, you need more database memory, you need more. For that, we can use R4, R5, X1, Z1, and this is C4, C5. Next, accelerated computing. What is accelerated computing? Like very fast computing. So what application we are using very fast nowadays? Everyone are using it for everything. Even their assignments, this one, everything they are doing it with that application. What is that? That two machine learning concepts are there. What is that? You can easily understand. That is your chat GPT, right? Chat GPT. Next one, storage optimization. More number of storage. Which application needed? Nothing like your OTT platform. So D2, H1, I3 and all storage optimized, which is for distributed file system. That is means multiple file systems is there, multiple computers. Next, specify network settings. Specify network settings. So network settings you can able to see as we just now mentioned. Network means what kind of network you're going to do. Now where I'm going to launch the computer, where I'm going to launch the instance. We want to launch instance in the public subnet VPC. So we have to select the VPC and VPC and your subnet, which subnet you want to include, that subnet we have to mention. So here you can able to see in this configuration, you see network, you're able to see network settings. So edit, it will ask you to select VPC, which VPC if you have to create it, then which subnets, then auto assign public IP. Auto assign public means enable means automatically public can able to view that, that means the server. That's what which we have mentioned there. Where we learned, when we learned the networking concept, I told about public subnet and private subnet. Whenever whatever you are coming using it in the public subnet, that will be accessible to public users. If you're keeping it in the private, no, private people, public people cannot be able to access it. Should have a public IP address to be automatically assigned to make it internet accessible, to make it internet accessible. Next, IAM role. Next one is IAM role. What is this IAM role? IAM role we have already learned in the security concept. That is a temporary permission. That is the temporary permission which we are giving it. So same thing, IAM is attached for now. IAM permission policy. AWS Internet Access role that is attached to the EC2 instance kept in the instance profile itself here. That means when you are launching your computer itself, we are giving a permission. That's what this IAM role. See here, the instance wants to access S3 bucket. For that, what we need? We need policy. We need policy and the permission. So here we create a role called EC2 instance of Amazon role. It grants the Amazon simple storage service bucket access permissions and it will be able to access it. That means what? First, the EC2 instance is attached to the IAM role. That role have a policy attached where S3 bucket is allowed. S3 bucket allow access, which we learned in the security module. So again, this is an option only, so it's not necessary compulsory we have to give it. Let us see where is that option. You see, come down, advanced details. So this advanced detail we can able to see instance profile. IAM instance profile. So we have already created a role called EC2, EKS role EC2 that is assigned. We have to create one more role and that role we can able to configure it. Okay, fine. Okay, now coming back. So as I told you, this is just an option only. So this is the fourth one. Next, fifth one, user data script. User data script is nothing but, for example, it's an optional thing only. So it will we have specifying the user data at the instant level. That is when you start the computer, like when you start the computer, normally what are all the things is automatically started with it. Automatically started with it. What are the things automatically started with it? I think when you're starting a computer, you'll be able to see the task manager starting maybe your firewall or antivirus or something, which is automatically started when the system is started getting started. Because when you set the system, you have already given mention that you are going to start this one also. That means this application also. Same thing now in our virtual machine also, we can mention that if we are starting this server user data scripts to customize the runtime environment of your instance. So scripts run the first time the instance starts and can be used strategically. For example, reduce the number of custom AMIs that you build and maintain. So we can able to build strategically also. Now here you see one more option is there. That is, instead of the sudo update, we can able to go for yellow dog update modifier, which is for the Linux systems. You can able to go for sudo update for your normal Ubuntu systems, and this one you can go for yellow dog update modifier, that is YUM. So it is what it's saying now. So hash bin bash, that is, it is saying that it's a bash module. M update hyphen y, that is update the packages, existing packages, and YUM install hyphen s wget. So go and get it. W is web get. Wget is nothing but web get. Go and get it in the web and then install it. Okay. So whenever the scripts run the first time, the instance starts. So can we strategically reduce it, the number of custom AMA? So I don't want to again and again. I want to start the configuration of the server again and again. By default, we can able to give it. That's the user data script. So where is this user data script? Here you can able to see. Come down here, you'll be able to see user data script. User data. Here you can able to see the space is there. The space is there. Here you can able to paste the command, whatever the code which we have seen, that you can able to paste it here. Next, specify storage. Now what type of storage we are going to use it? So configuring the root volume. Root volume is nothing but like your computer. In your computer, which drive is the main drive actually? C drive or D drive? Which one is main drive? Which drive is the main drive? C drive or D drive? Which one is the main drive? Anthony, can you answer this one? Which drive is the main drive? Okay, fine. So now your main drive is your C drive, right? So why we need C drive? C drive will have all the software. Same thing here. We are launching a computer. For that we need a root volume. Root volume means because of C drive only your computer is getting started. Same thing. Our instance has to start means we need the root volume. So the root volume where you will get the guest operating system installed. Who is the guest operating system? As I told you already, guest is we, because we are taking the computer for a few minutes or rented, and then we are coming back. I mean, then we are returning it back. So we are a guest. We are just coming and going. Our operating system is guest operating system, and additionally attach additional storage volumes optional. AMI might already included more than one volume. That is additional storage means by default the instance will have a storage that is called temporary storage. We call it as instant store. Then we add additional volume, that is for your like your C drive is default, but here C drive comes with like say 1 GB. After that you have to store a lot of data, so I am getting 8 GB volume attached. Okay, this is an external thing which we have to attach, then only we will be able to store all the data, because this default coming is instant store, which is temporary storage. What happened to your temporary storage? Always will be temporary storage will be helpful for a long time? Yes or no? Temporary storage will be long last forever, correct? Na? It will not be temporary. As the name itself says, it's a temporary storage. When you close the browser, all the data will go. Now, same thing only. Here you can able to see for each volume specify the size of the disk. Now we can mention the size of the disk, that is GB, and there are volume types. What kind of volume you are going to select? There are two different types of volumes. One is solid state drives, and another one is disk drives, hard disk drives. So hard disk drives, I think you know, normally your computer will come with a CPU that will have hard disk. But nowadays, what you have in your laptop, is it hard disk or SD, SSD? In your computer, whatever you have, is it hard disk or computer in sense in your laptop? Is it hard disk or SSD? Which one is there?
SSD, sir.
Come on, guys, just a reply.
SSD.
Yes, Anthony,
Sir,
Manish,
SSD.
Felicia. I'm not able to hear your voice. So you have SSD. You have SSD. So you have SSD. SSD represents what? Solid state drive. That is why you are able to insert the SD card or memory card or whatever it is, right? Okay. Now, if the volume will be deleted when the instance is terminated, if the volume will be deleted when the instance is terminated, and if encryption should be used. So by default, this is a C drive. Now, C drive, whatever data you are entering, can it be put full security? Yes or no? Yes. So we have to encrypt. By default, it is having this EBS volume will have default encryption. Okay. Let us see the different types of EBS. Now, let us see the different types of storage. One is EBS, that is elastic block store, which is durable block level storage volume. Block level storage means what? You can able to store like a block, store like a block in sense. There are different types of storages. Okay, that storage types, we have block level storage and object level storage and file level storage. So first this one is block, then object level storage, and then file level storage. So this block level storage is the durable block level storage volume. Mainly we will be able to, durable means what? Long lasting. So we can able to stop the instance and start it again. The data will be there. What will happen? If we stop the instance, for example, this is EC2 and you are attaching EBS, EC2, EBS. Now EBS is the additional volume. Let us say this is 8 GB. But default one is given by 1 GB by AWS itself, that is called instant store. That is instantly you store it until you know this, sort of like your phone. Like when you take a phone, automatic default storage will be there. If you want extra storage, you can able to add a 8 GB's card, memory card, or 16 GB memory card. You can add it. Correct, na? Now same thing only, but when you remove the SD card, the extra card, your data will be there in the card. Correct, but in the instant store, that is in the temporary your mobile having your storage, when you restart, or I mean not restart, when you restore everything, what will happen? All your entire data will go. Yes or no? Now, same thing only, this temporary storage, when you remove this all the empirical, this is a temporary storage, that is instant store. When the empirical storage is provided on the disk that are attached to the host computer where the EC2 instance is running, if the instance stops, data stored here will get deleted. So when you have a storage type as instant store, that is your temporary store, when you stop the instance itself, it will delete the data. But when you take EBS, when you take EBS as your storage volume, If you stop the instance and start it again, the data will be there. But when you terminate, the data will go. The data will go. Are you getting? Okay. Next, apart from this, other options for storages are your S3 bucket and EFS. So S3 bucket is object level storage and this one is file service. Now these two will not be able to use as a boot volume. We cannot able to use as a boot volume. That's why we don't want to use this. Either you have to use instance store or elastic bookstore. Now elastic bookstore, sorry, elastic block store. Elastic block store is the one which is durable. Durable means what? Long lasting. I told you, long lasting. So first you write this one, block store and the instance. This is a very important question. Wherever you go, they will ask you. And because it's durable, long lasting, we are using it in the we are using it for our boot volume. Okay, just to write this one and put a thumbs up symbol in your note. Symbol. Then we'll move to the next one. So EBS block store and object level storage will I will teach you in the next class. I mean next module, that is your storage module only. You're done. Can you put a thumbs up symbol? Okay, fine. So here you have to identify what will happen if the instance. So just now you wrote in a notebook, na? So I told you if instance one characteristics. So it has an Amazon EBS root volume type of operating system. So first one, what will happen if the instance is stopped and then start again? So this is the empirical story that is temporary and it is attached to an instance. Apart from this, it is attached to a 20 GB of volume of EBS store and again 500 GB of storage volume attached to the EC2 instance. Now what will happen if the instance is stopped and then start again? It is backed up by EBS. It is backed up by EBS volume. Now what will happen? Will the data will be there or not? You guys have to answer. Will the data will be there or not? Come on guys, you have written the previous statement in your notebook. You will be able to answer it. If the server is attached to a EBS volume of 20 GB and 500 GB storage, what will happen when we stop the instance? Will the data will be there or not? Do you want me to repeat that? This is a very important concept. I told you guys. I told you guys to write it. Are you guys writing? Let me explain you again. So the instance is there, EC2. If a temporary service, that is instance store, temporary 1 GB file is there attached, when the instance is stopped, the data will get deleted if the instance is stopped. When you are having only instance store as backup. Instead of that, when you take additional volume, that is EBS, additional volume, the data will get stored here. Even if the instance store get terminated, even as the instance store, even if your instance is stopped, the data will be stored here. But if the instance is terminated, the data will go out. That means it's also get deleted. But the instance is stopped, that is your server is stopped. The data will store here in the EBS will be there. But if you're not having this EBS volume, only having EC2 and instance store, temporary storage, then when you stop it, all the data will get deleted. Are you getting this? That's called instance store stops and the data here is deleted. You can stop the instance and start it again and the data will be there. That's your the other one. Now you answer what will happen. Instance store is a temporary storage as I told you. What will happen if the instance is stopped and started again? The first one. This is the first one. You see it is attached to empirical storage, that is temporary storage also. Apart from that, it is attached to the root account and find a GPU volume also. Whether the data will be there or not. Now you guys answer. Post in the chat box. Let me know guys whether the data will be there or not.
Sir, it will be there, sir.
Will be there or not? Just put it in the chat box. The data will be there or not for the first one. Okay, it will be there. Anthony has mentioned. Okay. Yes. Why? Because it is having the copy in the original storage volume. Even if it's deleted, the data is attached to the root volumes. That is your EBS volume. So it will be there. Now, what will happen in the second instance? You see, second instance is not connected to any instance. So instance has a second instance root volume type for operating system. What will happen if the instance stops because of the user error or malfunction? Now this instance is stopping. What will happen? what will happen? The data will be there or not? The second instance, which is not connected to any root volume, will the data will be there or not? Okay, okay, good, Anthony. The data will not be there because it's not backed by any root volume. It is only with the temporary volume, temporary storage. So when it's stopped, automatically it will get deleted. Next, AWS tags. Tags is nothing but the name we are giving it. So here you can able to see. Okay, you didn't set the root volume, right? So here you can able to see, yes, root volume 3000 APS not encrypted. So how many GB we want, we can able to enter it here. So that's the root volume. Now we go for tags. So tags here you can able to see the name, adding tags. Whatever name you want to add, you can able to see web server added it instance. You can able to give any name also. As of now, you can remove also. You can give. Automatically it will take the name. So why we want to have this tags? It's like your WhatsApp group. So why we want to create a WhatsApp group? I want to communicate. We want to communicate to particular group of people. Correct now. So for that we are giving a tag. That tag is your WhatsApp group. Same thing here. We are mentioning the tags, which is an optional tag only, but consists of key and value pair. You see name, web server, name, value, add in tag, name, value. So tagging is how you can attach metadata to an EC2 instance. Metadata means what? Data about data. Next, potential benefits of tagging, filtering, automation, cost allocation, and access control. So what are the potential benefits and tagging? Mainly we'll be using for filtering purpose. In the second module we will learn we can able to select all the high price things, high price services alone. I can put a tag. So whenever I click the tag, I can easily understand that it is available. It is there. So filtering, automation, cost allocation, and access control. So all these things will be there. For these benefits, we are adding the tags. Next one, security group settings. We already learned security groups. Security groups is mainly to set a firewall rules. You can able to exit outside of the instance OS also. We can create rules that specify which source, which port the network communication can use. And we can specify the port number and the protocol, such as your TCP, US, UDP, user data protocol, or internet control message transfer protocol. Specify the source, for example, an IP address or another security group that is allowed to use the rule. Allowed to use the rule we can able to specify. So here you can able to see mention the port, specify which IP address you want to use and what type of SSH, what type of protocol, everything we can able to mention it here. Okay, this is again security group is compulsory. Okay, where is that security group? You can see here. Yes, you see below this VPC you select then you can able to create instance security group. Select existing security group. Here you see default security group are there. Okay, we have not created anything, right? Let me just go and create a VPC and then I'll launch an instance also. 1 minute. Because EC2 has to be launched means we need VPC, correct? So I just click create VPC. Before that, your VPC, click actions, default VPC, create default VPC, click create default. That's it. Automatically it is VPC is created. As we learned yesterday, VPC means what will happen? VPC will be creating having subnets. It will have route table. It will have internet gateway. Okay. All these things are there. Here you can the left side you can able to see subnets which we created, route table which is created automatically, internet gateway no, yes, internet gateway is also there. So all these are created. Now we go for EC2 instance, launch instance. You can create web server one window T3 micro select keeper. You create a keeper. Now we are going for keeper. Now here you can see proceed without keeper. I'm just mentioning proceed without keeper. We don't want to create as of now. Next VPC. Here you see default VPC came. So default VPC. You see default VPC. Next one subnet. You can mention which subnet you want. You have three subnets. Don't want to select any subnet. Just let it create by itself. Next availability zone. No preference. Next auto assign public enable. Yes enable. Next create security group. Select existing security group. Then you see what are the security group default security group is there that we created and configuration storage type. That's it, we don't want to do anything, just we will launch the instance. So successfully initiated view on instance. So here you can see web server is created. You click this. So here you can able to see the public IP address. That is where you want to launch our application. That is your public enabled access. This is private enabled access. Okay. And coming back to here, security groups. Okay, security groups only we are supposed to start with. Okay, security groups. Let's say this is security groups. So security group default security group we created. You just click this security group and left side. Okay, okay. Left side security group. Now inbound rule. So we edit inbound rule. What are the inbound rules the security has? So here you can able to select HTTP. Next anywhere IP address. Next add rule HTTP. Yes. Then you can mention SSH. So all these things are basic. You can able to select it anywhere IPv4 and then click save rules. So automatically it is saved. So we can able to select what is this HTTP link. It's HTTPS link. Then SSH, that is particularly one system I want to connect, I put SSH. So all these things you can just select this. Now you will be able to see the inbound rules, all the four inbound rules. Okay. Now coming back. So as I told you, we can able to specify the port number also. Like just now I mentioned custom anywhere IP4. That before that you can able to mention. Next one, identify or create the key pair. So key pair is nothing but an instance launch. You specify an existing key pair or create a new key pair. So you can able to select the existing key pair. You can able to specify an existing key pair or create a new key pair. So key pair will consist of both. Key pair is nothing but like your username and password. So public key, private key, public key, private key. So now both this is like your username, this is like your password. So it helps you to secure your connection to us to Windows AMI or Linux AMI also. So Windows AMI, we use private key to obtain the administrator password you need to log in. And Linux AMI, you use the private key to use SSH to securely connect to your instance. So these are the 9 key decisions. We talk about all the 9 key decisions of EC2 instance. So key pair, I think I showed you, right? Yes, I showed you. So key pair I showed you. So if you want, you can just click the left side key pair. You'll be able to see the key pair which we have created. As of now, we didn't create anything. But for instance, you will be able to see proceed without a key. Okay. Now same thing. Just now we launched your EC2 instance through graphical user interface. That is through graphical user interface we done. Now this can be done in a command line interface also. Command line interface means what? Through commands. So see here the commands AWS EC2 run instance we are typing. Next Amazon machine image, that is AMI ID we have to give. Next count one, that is how many number of servers we want, that we are mentioning. Next key instance type. Instance type is just now we said na T3 T3 micro, same thing like T3 larger. Next key name, that's what the key pair round which I mentioned. Key pair, my key pair is the one which we understand. Next, which region we are going to go and what group, security group. Just now we created security group, now that security group we are selecting. So all these things it's on the command line. Same thing what we are doing in the GUI, we have been able to use in command line. Now here is the main thing, that is your instance life. So as I told you, AMI first launched the computer. Now, like how you start your computer? Is it immediately getting started or it will take for 3 to 5 minutes? How it's starting? How much time it is taking? How much time it is taking? 3 to 5 minutes. Correct? Now, same thing only. Here is when you launch your computer instance, it's go to pending state. Now from pending state, it's come to running state. Okay, your computer is not starting. What you will do? It is still loading, 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 but it's not starting. What you will do? What you will do? You will restart. Correct? Now, the same thing here. You see reboot. Next, now if the instance, that is your server, is under the instance backed by EBS means your item will be there, your server is already running on the EBS means your data will be there. If you stop the instance, first it will go to stopping state, then it will come for stopped state. Like in your bus stop, these buses are standing in the bus stop waiting in the, when you're waiting for the bus, the particular bus is coming. Will the bus stops exactly in the bus stop or at 10 meter apart from the bus stop? Which one will happen? It is bus stop is here means this guy will always stop the bus after 10 meter or 20 meter. Correct na? Same thing here. First it will go to stopping state, then stopped state. And if it is backed by EBS, your data will be restored. Your data will be restored. If not, your data will not be restored. Next, if it's terminate, first you terminate the instance means it start shutting down, then it will come to terminate. Now, for example, okay, I already started the instance, right? Now let us see this one. You see it is in the running state. Yes. Now instance state, stop instance. What? Stop instance. First we are clicking stop, stop, and again we are clicking stop. So here you can able to see stopping state, then stop state. Okay, is it visible? Yes. Then refresh. So it's in the stopping state. So within a few minutes it will become stop state. Same thing. I have to give it for stopping state to stop state. It will change. Then terminating means shutting down to terminate state. Hmm. Now you see here it is getting stopped. From stopping state to stop it is done. Now we will terminate this. So terminate, delete. So delete. It is come to shutting down stage. You see shutting down stage. Yes, shutting down stage. Then it will go for terminated state. Shutting down and terminate state. Yes, you see terminated state. From shutting down to terminate state it came. Fine. Next. So consider rebooting elastic IP address. We already talked about elastic IP addresses. Mask the failure. So if you want to reboot, you can put an elastic IP address. It will automatically reboot and go to that particular place, but it will be charged more. Now by default, whenever you start an instance is stopped and started again, the IPv4 public IP address, the IPv4 address and external DNS host name will get changed. External DNS host name will get change. But when you go for a private instance, when you stop and change, stop and start that again, if it's in the server is in the private subnet, so the internal DNS host name will not get changed. Okay, but here the host name itself will get changed. That's the main difference. Next, metadata. What is by metadata? Nothing but data about data. That is, for example, you want to know about the metadata of the server which is there in the Amazon. Then you have to give 169.25.169.25 slash latest slash metadata. If you are going for a what is your instance IP address, private IP address, host name, instance security, all these things are called as user data. So there also just only one word you have to change. Here it is user data, here it is metadata. Are you getting user data means whatever your is your IP address, private IP address. See here, I think when you click it's all terminated now. When I click that, it might have showed you here the instance public IP address, DNS, host name, everything. Whatever is coming for default will be there. So we'll be rarely using this. Next, CloudWatch monitoring. So CloudWatch is what? As the name itself says, CloudWatch. It is going to monitor your services. So it provides real-time metrics. See metrics like this. Your CPU usage is like this, like that. It will show. It will give the 15 months of historical data. It provides a chart-wise in EC2 management console for monitoring, and it will store 15 months of historical data also. Default, there is no cost for this monitoring tool, but if you want every 5 minutes, you can able to see metric data can send to CloudWatch every 5 minutes by default. In case if you want the metric data to be gathered every 1 minute, then you have to select a default monitoring. Okay. So whenever fixed monthly rate for 7 pre-selected metrics, we can able to select metric data delivered every 1 minute. Metric data delivered every 1 minute it can able to deliver. So CloudWatch instance with CloudWatch. So CloudWatch is mainly to monitor and get the real-time metrics with no additional cost. and we can able to set the pre-selected. But if you're going for specific metric, you have to charge for it. You'll be charged for that. Coming to the end of this section, Anthony, can you read it? Oh, I think I will share the screen. Why you guys are not opening your mouth? I was just reading this one. Elastic IP address, I told you, and metadata and CloudWatch. Okay. Yes. Yes. Anthony, can you read it, or anyone can read it? Yes, Anthony.
Amazon EC2 enables to run Windows and Linux virtual machine in the cloud. The launch EC2 instance from the AMI template into VPC in your account. You can choose from many instance type. Each instance type offer different combination of CPU, RAM, storage, and network capabilities. You can configure security groups to control access instance, specify allowed ports and source. User data enables you to specify a script to run the first time that an instance launches. Only instances that are backed by Amazon EBS can be stopped. You can use Amazon CloudWatch to capture and review matters on EC2 instance.
Okay, fine. Fine. So Amazon EC2 cost optimization. This thing we'll see tomorrow at the same time. Okay. Okay, guys. So we'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.